Delhi Chief Minister announces two-pronged strategy to tackle the sudden COVID spike. Testing to be doubled in a week. The oximeters to be given to patients at home. The Delhi Chief Minister warns the residents against complacency. Haryana government decides to hold a one-day assembly session apart from the Haryana Chief Minister. 9 MLAs, Speaker, 6 assembly staffers test positive. Narcotics angle in Sushant case explodes. Rhea dismisses charges of drug consumption or dealing drugs. Team Sushant claims Sushant was given overdose of the prescribed drugs. Amid massive protest by the opposition in Kerala crying foul in the Secretariat fire, the Kerala government appoints a 5-member expert panel to probe the incident. Just days after a massive storm within the Congress, Sonia Gandhi steps up the gears, invites the opposition chief ministers from West Bengal, Maharashtra and Jharkhand for a meeting to discuss the GST compensation to the states. You're watching the big story here on Mirror Now. My name is Apurva Sridhar. Let's begin with our top focus story coming in from Haryana, where the Haryana government is now holding a one-day assembly session amid the COVID pandemic after a large number of people, including the Chief Minister and the Speaker, test positive. Now, those who have tested: 8 ministers, 3 BJP MLAs and 6 assembly staffers. The assembly session is being held amid strict COVID protocols that have been put in place. Besides a mandatory COVID negative certificate to gain entry into the assembly complex, seating arrangements with social distancing norms have also been now put in place. Let me bring in my colleague Gurpreet for those updates there. Gurpreet, this is a one-day special assembly session there of the Haryana government. First of all, tell us who all have been tested positive from the Haryana government and what are the special arrangements being made for this one-day assembly session to take place in view of the COVID situation there?
Well, that we have learned that, as we know, that the Chief Minister of Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar, Vidhan Sabha Speaker, that Gyan Chand Gupta, along with the Agriculture Minister JP Dalal and another 3 more MLAs from this Vidhan Sabha, they have been tested positive. And after that, they have taken all the precautions. They have decided not to carry forward this session for the 2 days, because earlier it was decided for the 2 days. Now, after having a business meeting, and they had decided to cut down it to 1 day. And as per the sources, we have learned that most of the MLAs, they say it's very difficult to stay here in such situation, and that's why they have taken the decision. But I'll request my Vijay, because we are reporting from where that this is the media hall where they had mentioned that media people will be allowed inside. Even in the Vidhan Sabha, the media is not allowed to go inside. And even for all the MLAs, they have asked to bring that COVID negative report along with the official who had been deployed inside. And what we have learned, 365 people of Vidhan Sabha officers, they have been tested, and 6 employees from Vidhan Sabha, they have been tested positive. So at the same time, this is the Haryana Niwas from where we are reporting from inside. The whole media is sitting, and even they are maintaining social distance here, and they will give us live coverage. But at the same time, as per precaution, they are not allowing even media person to go inside the Vidhan Sabha, so that the protocol should be followed. And as we have learned that they have already cut down to 1 day, and this is all because of the corona, because the Chief Minister is not present in this session, and Vidhan Sabha Speaker is not present in the session, Agriculture Minister is not present, and along with other 3 MLAs who have been tested positive, they are not present inside. So it appears that it's the constitutional compulsion of Haryana government to hold this thing. Otherwise, now what we have learned from the sources also from inside, that only bills will be passed, and this session will be held for the minimum time, so that even despite having the social distancing, maintaining protocol inside, there is still tendency, because as we know that 6 employees from Vidhan Sabha, they have been tested positive. The government say that they have sanitization work and everything has been done, but at the same time the precautions are being taken by Haryana government, so that the spread of coronavirus should be curbed. observed even at this delicate time when the session is going on inside. Back to studio.
All right, Gurpreet, request you to stay with us at this point as you're giving us all those updates there. We're showing those live visuals there from inside the Haryana Assembly. Remember, this is a one-day assembly session that is currently underway, and these are live visuals that are coming in. As we have been pointing out, and as my colleague Gurpreet also pointed out, that there are, of course, mandatory strict protocols that have been put in place for this assembly to function. Besides having a COVID negative certificate to gain entry into the assembly complex, seating arrangements, as you can see, are also being put in place with social distancing norms that have to be followed by all the people there. In other news coming in, this from the national capital, amid the COVID crisis in the national capital, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has announced that the number of tests is now going to be doubled from 20,000 to 40,000 daily in a week's time. In fact, the focus in the national capital will be on increased testing and isolation as well. The decision was taken in the emergency COVID meet that was chaired by the Delhi Chief Minister earlier today. Yesterday, Delhi had recorded 1,544 new coronavirus cases and a total of nearly 1,700 fresh cases were in fact reported today. This is a worrying trend as Delhi, remember, had earlier seen a dip in the coronavirus cases with the lowest daily COVID count, which was falling to 613 cases on July 27th.
आज सुबह तक 3700 के करीब बेड्स टोटल ऑक्यूपाइड थे, जिनमें 2900 के करीब बेड्स दिल्ली वालों के लिए थे, दिल्ली के लोग पेशेंट्स थे, और 800 के करीब दिल्ली के बाहर के पेशेंट्स थे। तो अगर 2900 पेशेंट्स दिल्ली के थे तो पेशेंट्स की संख्या भी अस्पतालों में नहीं बढ़ रही है। आज की डेट में टेस्ट्स लगभग 20,000 टेस्ट पर डे होते हैं। इसको हम एक हफ्ते के अंदर 40,000 टेस्ट्स पर डे करेंगे। हमारी स्ट्रैटेजी यही रहेगी जो पहले थी, टेस्ट एंड आइसोलेट, टेस्ट एंड आइसोलेट। लगभग पिछले 1.5 महीने से दिल्ली के अंदर कोरोना की स्थिति पूरी तरह से नियंत्रण में है। कोरोना के केसेस में कमी आ रही है, डेथ में काफ़ी कमी आ रही है, और भी जितने रिकवरी रेट काफ़ी ठीक हो गया है। लेकिन पिछले कुछ दिनों से कोरोना के केसेस में थोड़ी बढ़ोतरी नज़र आ रही है। हमें स्थिति को ज़्यादा खराब नहीं होने देना। जैसे 17 अगस्त के बाद से हम देख रहे हैं कि कोरोना के केसेस 1200, 1300, 1400 इसके आसपास घूम रहे हैं। बीच में हजार से भी कम भी हो गए थे, लेकिन अब 1200, 1300, 1400 के करीब घूम रहे हैं। तो थोड़े से केसेस बढ़े हैं, बाकी सभी पैरामीटर्स ठीक हैं।
Let me bring in my colleague Ayushman for further updates on this. Ayushman, earlier we had seen the Chief Minister give out some figures as far as the COVID cases are concerned in the national capital. He did mention that after 17th of August is when they've been looking at a rise in the number of cases on a daily account. What has been the strategy that has been adopted by the Delhi government looking at the situation, and have they been able to identify the reasons behind an increase in the number of cases in Delhi?
Well, Apurva, one of the reasons which is being attributed right now to the increase is the migration which has taken place, the influx of people who have come from different states back to Delhi, and also in the containment zone they have also further bifurcated these containment zones, and further smaller containment zones have been made. Now, Apurva, if you see here, the Delhi government said that they have been conducting 20,000 tests, which is not the case here. If you see currently 13 to 14,000 of the antigen and around 5,000 of the RT-PCR is taking place. This number we are being told that the antigen number will again be increased. The RT-PCR continues to be low, and currently, Apurva, even the Chief Minister gave the account for today also, and today over 1,690 cases have come, and this is again a rise of if you consider the past 40 days. So the numbers are increasing, but still, as the ICMR DG yesterday pointed out, it's a marginal increase after the dip that we saw. To say that it is a peak or it's a second wave coming, it will be too early. But for now, the Delhi government is going to increase the testing. That is on their agenda. And at the same time, they are also saying that all those people who are in home isolation, the oximeter will be provided to them.
All right, Ayushman, many thanks for joining us and giving us all those updates there. Meanwhile, Delhi's Health Minister Satyendra Jain also spoke on the recent COVID spike in the national capital. He said that the number of restricted zones are in fact increasing in Delhi because of the government, which is creating more micro-containment zones. Now, he also claimed that Delhi hasn't really hit a peak yet.
कल दिल्ली में 1544 नए इन्फेक्शन के केस आए थे कोरोना के, जिसमें 1155 लोग रिकवर हुए और 17 डेथ हुई थी। कल के मिलाकर लगभग 1,64,071 लोग पॉजिटिव अभी तक कोरोना से हो चुके हैं। एक टाइम 40% था, 40 से फिर 30 से 40 के बीच में आया, फिर 20 से 30 के बीच में आया, अब 10 से 20 के बीच में, अब 10 से नीचे है। तो इन्फेक्शन जो है 10 से नीचे 1% या 2% को एकदम से देखना कि भी वो डेली फ्लक्चुएट कर रहा है, कभी 2% कम हो जाता है, कभी 1% ज़्यादा हो जाता है। हमने अभी जो पॉलिसी बनाई है, कंटेनमेंट जोन, माइक्रो कंटेनमेंट जोन बनाए जा रहे हैं, छोटे छोटे बना रहे हैं, जहाँ पर भी 2 पेशेंट 3 पेशेंट होते हैं, उसको स्मॉल थोड़े से एरिया को कंटेनमेंट जोन बनाया जाता है। इसलिए नंबर्स बढ़ रहा है, परंतु पॉपुलेशन को बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों को दिक्कत ना हो, इसलिए छोटे किए गए हैं।
More breaking updates coming in. A bridge in Jeevan Nagar at the outskirts of Jammu city has been washed away due to flash floods. The bridge, known as the Dhrav Bridge, connects 200 villages in the area. The angry residents after this incident, the locals in fact allege that the material used for the construction was of poor quality.
Due to flash flood, Dhrav Bridge collapsed. Incident took place today morning at about 9:15 a.m. Because of the gushing stream of water, you can see the bridge completely washed away. This bridge was constructed a few years back and it connected about 200 villages that lead to the border area. People here are quite angry. They feel the material used for the bridge was not of the good quality. That's one of the reasons that it was not able to bear the brunt of the gushing stream of water. And you can see this road from Jeevan Nagar towards the border area is connected because of this bridge, and at that point of time there was no casualty, reason being that people were standing on this side or they were on other side. Onlookers saw bridge collapsing. Let's speak to the people and find out what really happened. ये कब से ये ब्रिज कितने बजे कोलैप्स हुआ सुबह?
इस सुबह 8:30 बजे के करीब ये कोलैप्स हो गया।
अच्छा
जी।
तो कितनी मुश्किल इसकी वजह से?
मुश्किल तो बहुत है। आप देखिए यहाँ से पूरी कॉलोनी है, रैना कॉलोनी, वहाँ से इतने बॉर्डर साइड पे पूरे मतलब विलेज हैं, अब और 200 से प्लस विलेज हैं कम से कम, और ये लिंक मतलब फ्लो रोड, इसी रोड पे सबसे ज़्यादा फ्लो है।
So people are really worried because many of the people who have to go back to their respective places, they are not able to go. They are just standing on this side of the road. Now they will have to take a very long route, as they were saying that this had been the main link road that had been connecting Jeevanagar area with many of the villages on the border side. So this road was really very important for commuters as well as the people moving from one place to another place. Now because of this village gone, the people are facing lot many problems and they are really critical of the administration. They feel that administration should have taken steps because on several occasions people had complained that this material was not used of good quality. They said that but administration never ever paid heed to these problems. मटीरियल क्या आपको लगता है अच्छा नहीं यूज किया था?
मटीरियल इसके नीचे बनाया ही नहीं। अगर पोल सही ढंग से सरिये के नीचे जाएंगे, जो फ्लाइंग ओवर बना रहे हैं, ठीक है, उसके उतने कितना सरिया डालते हैं। ये जो ठेकेदार है उसने चोर बाजारी की तो नीचे डाला ही कुछ नहीं है। अगर उसके पाँव नहीं है तो बंदा खड़ा किस पे होगा? ठीक है, अगर मेरे पाँव टूट जाएंगे, मेरे ऊपर छत बना दो, कैसे चलेगा वो?
So you can see the people are quite angry and agitated. They feel that the proper material was not used for the construction of this bridge. That was the reason that this bridge immediately collapsed when today morning the gushing stream of water because of the flash flood came. And right now you can see many people are standing on that side. They do not know what to do, where from they should take the route to come over to this place. Now it will be like a very longer distance for them to coming over to their respective places. So people are facing lot many problems. This is not the only bridge that has collapsed. In fact, several roads have been inundated. Many roads have also caved in. We had here been highlighting for the last few days. The quality of the roads have not been good. At that place also we spoke to many people. They said that administration has not been doing much. So they're critical of that role of the administration. From time to time they had been complaining complaining about the quality of the material being used for the bridge. And you can see this bridge was not constructed long back. This was constructed only a few years back, and this bridge right now stands collapsed. And at that point of time, onlookers were standing on this side. They saw with their own eyes bridge collapsing, but they had no other option but to see what really was happening at that point of time. So people are quite angry, and they are also worried and concerned also how to reach their respective places. Now they will have to take a longer route to reach their.
With that, we are slipping into a very short break. Back in just a bit.
Are you confused about how and where to invest? On this show, we make it simple. A guide to help you make your money grow. A show that puts your money first. A show that makes personal finance simple. Investor's Guide. Only on Mirror Now.
We're getting some news that's breaking this minute on the Andhra 3 Capitals Raw. The Supreme Court has dismissed the Andhra government's plea. Remember, this plea was challenging the High Court's status quo that has been dismissed. The Supreme Court, they're refusing to interim with the Delhi High Court's interim order. And the Supreme Court further saying that the High Court will try to decide the matter expeditiously. Let me bring in our Deputy News Editor Meenakshi Bhanja for all the updates there from the top court. Meenakshi, can you take us through the details there coming in regarding the Andhra 3 Capital Raw plea?
Well, yes, Apurva, you see, this is a project which is very dear to Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, and today the Supreme Court has declined to entertain this petition with regards to the 3 capitals issue, which was filed by Andhra Pradesh government itself in the Supreme Court. And in the light of the ongoing proceedings before the relevant High Court, the Supreme Court has said that the High Court will try to decide this matter expeditiously, and the Supreme Court has also today gone ahead and refused to lift the status quo against the government's 3 capital plan for the state. So clearly, with the Supreme Court declining to either interfere in lifting of the status quo, Apurva, or declining to interfere at this juncture, rather passing it on to the High Court to decide the matter expeditiously, it definitely is a setback for Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, Apurva.
All right, Meenakshi, request you to stay with us at this point. We're getting more breaking updates coming in. Now, the latest on the Maratha reservation case, all senior counsels Mukul Rohatgi, Kapil Sibal and other senior lawyers agreed that the case should be referred to a 11-judge bench of the Supreme Court. Going back to my colleague Meenakshi Banja for all the updates there. Meenakshi, what does this mean when we are now talking about the senior counsels there have now all agreed that the Maratha reservation case should be now referred to the 11-judge bench of the Supreme Court?
Well, yes, Apurva, this is hugely significant because the Maratha reservation row has rocked Maharashtra for a substantial period of time. It has been pending in the Supreme Court also for a fair bit of time. And 11-judge bench composition of the Supreme Court is considered to be a very superior bench composition. And it is eminent senior counsels like Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, Mr. Kapil Sibal, and all the other seniors associated in the case who have shown an inclination to have this issue be adjudicated upon a very superior strength bench composition of the Supreme Court. Mr. Sibal today went on to state as to how the earlier 50 quota cap, which was fixed by the Supreme Court in the Indra Sawhney case, is a judgment which is as old as 30 years. And reservation exceeds 50% in 28 states. 85% in Maharashtra, according to Mr. Sibal, falls in the backward category. So clearly, the counsels, who are eminent jurists in their all individual capacities, are looking for a conclusive settlement of this row from a fresh perspective. And that is why it is important, Purva, because all of them, cutting across the lines that they are representing, are seeking for the referral of the case to a superior strength composition of the Supreme Court, no less than 11 judges.
All right, Meenakshi, many thanks for joining us and bringing us all those breaking updates there. The latest in the Sushant Singh case, the Enforcement Directorate, which is investigating Rhea Chakravarti in the money laundering case, has now written to the Narcotics Control Bureau seeking details of certain drugs-related chats allegedly involving Rhea. In fact, senior officials of the Narcotics Control Bureau are now holding a meeting today over the WhatsApp chats and suspected links of Rhea with drug dealers. Meanwhile, Rhea's counsel has issued a statement saying that the actress has never used drugs in her life and is ready for a blood test at any time. Meanwhile, we're looking at further updates coming in with regards to this entire angle, where the counsel of Sushant's family has now reacted on the Enforcement Directorate, which is probing the WhatsApp chats and whether Rhea Chakravarti had any involvement with drug dealers. Sushant's family lawyer, Vikas Singh, has now said that this widens the scope of the entire investigation.
Well, if this drug issue is, if it is true, as shown by some channel yesterday, then definitely it's a very serious matter, because the family, when it got the FIR registered, there was an impression that Sushant was being over-drugged. But when we said over-drugged, we meant prescription drug, which is being administered on the instruction of some psychiatrist. And if you give an overdose, then it can, disturb the mental balance of somebody. But now, if what has been disclosed is correct, then this is actually banned drug. Now, if it is banned drug, then firstly, this will lead to definitely abetment to suicide as well as murder, either of the two. And lastly, there will be a Narcotics Control Bureau issue also, because then who are the suppliers? They will also have to be arrested. So definitely the scope of these proceedings will widen quite substantially.
Let me bring in my colleague Neha Kulkarni, who's joining me live, getting us those updates there. Neha, this is a completely different angle that is now being explored with the Enforcement Directorate, which has now written to the Narcotics Control Bureau regarding those alleged WhatsApp chats. What are the details you are picking up regarding that front? Because clearly, Sushant's family lawyers have in fact said that this clearly widens the entire probe of this case.
Absolutely, and if we hear his statements correctly, what the family's lawyer is trying to say that before, because when the family put up a claim and raised the claims about abetment to suicide, all they thought was the fact that he was being given some medicines, some drugs that were perhaps recommended, and there was an overdose of it. But looking at the kind of reportage that is going on, the drug that was being given to him is definitely was a banned drug, and which is why the angle of homicide here will be coming into picture, and which becomes an important point here, because not just now the ED or CBI, but even this Narcotics Control Bureau has come into picture, and they are likely to register an FIR into this case by looking at all the angles, which makes it a further more important case here, considering the CBI has also now been questioning the key related witnesses for over the past 6 days that they've been in the city. They've been trying to analyze the post-mortem records of the late actors. So it is very important here as to what they find even there, along with the fact that the forensic team here is conducting a parallel investigation, taking help from AIIMS Delhi, and even that report is expected to be filed by as soon as Friday. So an amalgamation of all of this will be very important to find what comes from the post-mortem report, and what the CBI also concludes about the alleged involvement of drug in the entire case.
All right, Neha, many thanks for joining us and bringing us all those updates. We're getting more news that's breaking this minute. Now, the Narcotics Control Bureau is now mulling whether they can file a formal FIR related to the drug chats under the scanner in the Sushant death case. Remember, the ED had sought information from the Narcotics Bureau on alleged chats involving Riya Chakravarti, which indicate a drug link. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of The Big Story. But before we go, we leave you with this beautiful visuals that Prime Minister Modi in fact shared of the iconic temple in Gujarat's Modhera. Now, in this video, you can see how the mesmerizing visuals of water that is cascading through the temple steps on a rainy day, making it an amazing watch.
Against the draft EIA notification 2020, which is deeply anti-democratic. Laws meant to protect the environment and therefore livelihoods and public health are being weakened. The auction of coal mines too has been objected already by some chief ministers. Public sector assets created over decades are being sold off. Here too, you all know that some state governments have expressed their opposition. 6 airports have been given into private hands, and the railways, that is the lifeline of the country, they are also being privatized. There are other announcements like the national education policy that should really worry us, because, and it is a setback. It is actually a setback of for progressive, secular, and scientific values, and it actually displays. It reveals the insensitivity of what the states have been saying. There are other problems of students and examinations. These are also being dealt with uncaringly. Now there are many more issues, and I'm sure you are much more aware of them than I am. So I think I would stop here and hand the meeting over to Mamata ji.
Sanjay, thank you so much for calling this meeting, especially at this crisis time, and when our students, community especially, they are facing a lot. Even they are totally in their uncertainty, They have their mental agony. They do not know. Government already announced that G and NEET exam will start from 1st to 6th and 13th. But how they will give the examination, I do not know, because more than 25.50 lakh students are involved. Even more than 4,500 to the centers are already there. Rail is not working properly. Aviation also there are some problems. Transportation is also not effectively working because of this lockdown system and all this. Now, under this lockdown protocol, when like COVID, a pandemic is going on, then first in the month of April, UGC has sent a letter to the state government that they will defer this exam or they will take some other options. But again, they sent another letter to change that decision, which will harm the students, especially the graduation, post-graduation. And now the G and the NEET, our students and youth, they are very much talented. They are really very brave. They are very bright. And I do not know how they will sit for exam. Yes, I appreciate that government can say that Supreme Court has given the verdict and that's why government is doing all these things. I have appealed Prime Minister, I have requested, I have sent so many letters, but I can show you that yes, I have sent this letter to Prime Minister because of this NEET, G and this exam, other exam. And I requested Prime Minister that if the government can review government can request the Supreme Court when students community are in a serious situation. Even some people are facing the depression also. It is a mental agony. Then Government of India can appeal Supreme Court, Honorable Court to review the appeal so that students community, they feel they are not being harassed or they are not being deprived or they are not going for the mental torture or depression, what is going on right now, whatever we are getting the information from the grassroots. And now that is the option is there. Even with the state government, especially Punjab, Maharashtra, this Jharkhand, Puducherry, then we have the Rajasthan, and also we have the other state government also. Whoever will support it depends on them. But whoever present is here today, we can also, if the law permits, we can discuss this matter with our senior advocates. There are so many important advocates they are always helping us, maybe Abhishek Singhvi or Kapil, or there are so many important advocates in these countries are there. So who are who are experts in this field, we may discuss the matter with them. And Bengal is there. If Punjab Chief Minister can take initiative, Punjab, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Puducherry, Rajasthan and others, then we can also jointly appeal. It may be that Supreme Court may say that we have already given the direction. But sometimes we have seen there are some precedent also that if the problem is there, if the situation is some sensitive, then of course they always give consideration to the people's voice, students' voice, because students and youth, they are the future, they are the asset of this country. So we also may appeal the Supreme Court. If central government feel not to appeal, then we as a state government, because we are also elected government, this will be my request to all the state government. Let us do it together. Let us go to Supreme Court and let us request them to postpone it for the time being unless the situation allows students to sit for exam. And more than 25.50 lakhs, it is not a joke. Even G, there is a system for online exam, but medical, no. From where they will be coming, where they will be going, how they will be going. Even mentally also, they are not prepared for this. Now all the educational institutions are closed. So at this situation, that will be my first appeal to all of you. I am thankful to Shaniaji for convening this meeting today because it's a very serious issue. I thought what we discussed about COVID, this is also important issue. Education issue is a more important issue, and we stand by our student. We stand to our student and youth, and we are stand by our students. Whatever they require the help, we are willing to do it. This is number one. Every chief minister must come forward and we must work together. Number two, what Sonia ji said, 100% I can assure you, yes, we are fighting the battle. Whatever they are saying nowadays in the name of cooperative federalism, the state government is being bulldozed like anything. In every meeting, your chief ministers ask the other chief ministers, I raise my issue every time. Now state where the money will be coming? Our tax, we are giving to the central government. They are collecting from state government. Earlier, there is a planning commission. States should meet with the planning commission and they should have decide their policy. Now nobody is there. Now nobody is talking even. GST, of course, from my government, I can tell you, 4,100 crores, I have to get it within month of May, June, but I have not yet received. So how do we run the government? COVID, the pandemic is going on. And now we are not getting one single paisa. From how we will go for expenditure. We have to give for state house free of cost, treatment free of cost, medicine free of cost, ventilator free of cost, nasal oxygen free of cost, even their ambulance free of cost. Everything we are giving free of cost. Even the migrant workers, they came. We gave their ticket, the expenditure. We are trying our best, madam. But the problem is that we are not getting anything. They are saying so many things. Sometimes finance minister said we are giving this thousands of crores, lakhs of crores, but where is the money? The same thing, they are repeating. Even we requested all the chief ministers who are present, they know that FRBM system, madam, there is a FRBM system of financial discipline. We said that when we allow, we said that Japan can use 20% for that, purpose, FRBM. They are giving GST, the system. Now, America also spending 10% GST for COVID. Now, UK is also spending 20% GST for COVID. Now, India, it is, I do not know, 1 or 2%. Even we said that, okay, if you give 5% also, 2 to 5%, then allow us without condition. Now, they have given condition. I have to go to market for, in the name of so-called reforms. I have to, increase the taxes of the people. I have to increase the municipality tax. I have to increase this and this and this, and whatever they will say, they will impose the tax to us, and then only we will get that money. Otherwise, no. So where the money will come? Will it come from the sky? I'm telling you that we are trying our best. It's very difficult to give the salary to the workers. No fund is available. It's very difficult. Even the unorganized sector is suffering a lot. The MSME sector to farmers to unorganized sector. Nothing is there, no help. Only big speech is coming up. And if we want to say something, then of course, there are so many agencies. They will be surrounded by us. Let them, but what to do? Two options are there. Either you fight for the people, and if you don't fight for the people, then there are so many friends, they are just surrounded by us, how they can disturb us. I have not seen in a democracy this type of atrocities. I'm sorry to say, it's most unfortunate part of today. We are facing an acute crisis. We cannot speak. We cannot speak out. We cannot speak freely. The media cannot speak. They are also being guided what to speak, what not to speak. Spending lots of money against of us. Now from Facebook to everywhere. The fake news, the distorted news to damage the opposition, especially opposition who are in the opposition, like anything. So they don't care. Nowadays, I have not seen even Other thing I want to tell you, madam, just one thing. After that, other friends will speak out. I have seen after Rajiv's death, when I was a youth minister, that time I started one Rajiv.
All right, we were listening in to that statement that had come in earlier from Sonia Gandhi, and this is a Congress opposition chief ministers meet on the GST compensation and the NEET exams. Of course, Mamata Banerjee is saying that the Supreme Court ordered the exams. Government can move the Supreme Court, and we can also move the Supreme Court together. And this regarding the NEET exams, and there has been quite a lot of uproar regarding conduction of the JEE and the NEET exams. We're getting some news that's breaking this minute at this point. A bridge in Jeevan Nagar at the outskirts of Jammu city has been washed away due to flash floods. This bridge, known as the Drab Bridge, connects 200 villages in the area. Angry after this incident, the locals alleged that the material that was used for the construction was of poor quality.
Due to flash flood, Darab Bridge collapsed. Incident took place today morning at about 9:15 a.m. Because of the gushing stream of water, you can see the bridge completely washed away. This bridge was constructed a few years back and it connected about 200 villages that lead to the border area. People here are quite angry. They feel the material used for the bridge was not of the good quality. That's one of the reasons that it was not able to bear the brunt of the gushing stream of water. And you can see this road from Jeevan Nagar towards the border area is connected because of this bridge. And at that point of time, there was no casualty. Reason being that people were standing on this side or they were on other side. Onlookers saw bridge collapsing. Let's speak to the people and find out what really happened. ये कब से ये ब्रिज कितने बजे कोलैप्स हुआ सुबह?
ये सुबह 8:30 बजे के करीब ये कोलैप्स हो गया।
अच्छा
जी।
तो कितनी मुश्किल इसकी वजह से?
मुश्किल तो बहुत है। आप देखिए यहाँ से पूरी कॉलोनी है, रैना कॉलोनी, वहाँ से इतने बॉर्डर साइड पे पूरे मतलब विलेज हैं। अब और 200 से प्लस विलेज हैं कम से कम। और ये लिंक मतलब फ्लो रोड, इसी रोड पे सबसे ज़्यादा फ्लो है।
So people are really worried because many of the people who had to go back to their respective places, they are not able to go. They are just standing on this side of the road. Now they will have to take a very long route, as they were saying that this had been the main link road that had been connecting Jeevanagar area with many of the villages on the border side. So this road was really very important for commuters as well as the people moving from one place to another place. Now because of this village gone, the people are facing lot many problems and they are really critical of the administration.
With that, we are slipping to a very short break. Back in just a bit.